Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are live here. This is the last episode of the year for 2023. While we go off on a 2 week break, just do whatever we want. So before I jump right in to the pod, let's introduce our guest, Steven, top of the table and having a laugh. Thanks for joining us. Arsenal is flying. Oh, did you freeze?
I think he did.
He froze. No. Okay. Introduce Baller. Okay. Next, second on the table, Baller, Liverpool fan.
What's going on? What's going on?
Okay. Okay.
Cabeça.
TJ Kabiesi. Steven, are you back? Are you back?
I'm back. I'm good.
Okay, yeah. So introduce you again. Top of the table, Arsenal fan. Thanks for joining us. Smiling with that smile. All these Arsenal fans, man. All these Arsenal fans, man. Hey, but this season, I promised Arsenal, and I told DJ beginner, this season, I'm not coming for anybody.
You can't come for anyone. That's why.
No. Look, I can be shameless, but I've left my shamelessness away. I'm not coming for anybody. I'm just a purist. I call what I see. I'm a football purist this season. Just say what I see. That's all. Okay, before we dive right into the topics, if you're watching us, Footy Fantasy on YouTube, road to 500. On Twitter, road to 1.5K. Instagram, Fantasy Footy. Like, share, subscribe. Interact with us in the chat. Let's dive into the game of yesterday. Liverpool Arsenal. I guess let's start with Baller. You're the home team. Tell us what happened in this game.
Man, you know what? Let me start by giving Arsenal some credit, man. Arsenal's a fantastic team. They are a fantastic team. Arteta is doing some good things over there. I love the way how you controlled a lot of the midfield. You're building something really good there. And Saliba, Gabriel, nice players. Zinchenko, I don't know, man. You guys might need to do something about that. But, he serves a role. And you know what? Going against Salah is difficult. But long story short, it was a heavyweight battle. It was a good fight. I think Arsenal came out blazing. First couple of minutes, they scored that goal in the third or fourth minute. And then Arsenal were really good in that midfielding role, just controlling the ball around. And I was very impressed. But we started turning around towards the end of the first half, the middle of the first half. Salah got that goal. And then entering into the second half, we kind of peppered them a little bit. But the resolve was there, man. And I do have to give some credit to Arsenal for playing well. Saliba, Declan Rice, Jollof Rice, Paella. Man, you guys have some ballers, man. And Arsenal going to be a problem moving forward. If I will say something, I think I'll save who I think the ultimate winner of the day is for a little bit later. But Arsenal, they're a really good team. I do think we were robbed a little bit. And the reason why I think we were robbed is because I thought that was a clear penalty. Can't believe that, VAR didn't call that out. But
the Odegaard handball, you mean?
Pardon?
Odegaard's handball, right?
Odegaard's handball was he scooped the ball, But we can't rely on the rest. Trent should have put that goal in at the end of the game. So we've got no one else to blame but ourselves because we had the opportunity to just close it out. But good game, good fierce game. Big up to Arsenal, man. You guys got something special going on down there. So,
Steven, what are your thoughts? Do you think Arsenal should have won? Was draw a fair result?
No, I think a draw is a fair result. In the end, I think Liverpool probably had the chance with Trent was probably the clearest chance, I would say. And I definitely think we're a bit fortunate on the pen because again, when it happened, my instant reaction was, "Oh no, this is going to go to VAR and it's going to get given." I think they probably had a little bit of the guilty conscience because with Arsenal this year, they probably have about 5 VAR decisions that they've given against us that they shouldn't have given against us, and they keep giving us apologies every week. So I think that was just one of those make-up calls in the end because again, the referee, it was one of those where he looked like he slipped, depending on how you watched it. And then obviously the on-field decision wasn't a penalty, so I think they just kind of got there's not enough there to overturn it, and then they're probably something in their back of their mind is like, oh no, it's Arsenal again. and it's a big game, and it was a big call at that time in the game. So I think a draw was definitely the fair result. I definitely think in terms of like just for the two teams, it was a really good game. I think Liverpool in the beginning, I think they underestimated Arsenal's midfield a little bit, and they tried to kind of play with us, and we kind of kept nicking the ball off them in the press. And then once they realized that the midfield with Rice in particular, they weren't going to be able to play through, they decided and they used Trent to kind of get that long switch out to Zinchenko, which was always the weakness. And then the crazy thing is like you mentioned Zinchenko Bola. If Timber and Tomiyasu are fit, he doesn't play. Like these games aren't the games where he plays, is that he plays when we dominate possession. When we're playing a game like this and it's Salah over on that wing, it's Tomiyasu or Timber that's over there, and it's a completely different ball game. But both of them are out, so we didn't really have an option but to play him because Kiwior isn't as mobile, and he isn't as good as 1v1 defender as those two. So again, it was just we had to stick with him because there was even a moment at 1-1 when I was at bull, maybe we need to take him off and bring Kiwior on. But I don't think Kiwior would have done much better with Salah over there, to be honest. And I actually think Klopp did us a favor in the second half because I think when he brought on Darwin and he put Salah up front, I'm like, you're gonna deliver Salah to Saliba and Gabriel, and then you're gonna put Elliot on Zinchenko, who's having an absolute nightmare of a second half. So I think he actually did us a favor with that switch. And then if you look at the last 15, 20 minutes of the game, if Saka was having a better game, I think we probably could have nicked it in the end because after that 15, 20 minutes after half time, I think for the end of the game, we actually ended it pretty well. And most of Liverpool's attacks were coming on the counter, right? When we were kind of losing possession from like that corner one, that 5-on-1. I still don't know how Liverpool didn't score that goal, but that was just again, and it was Zinchenko, right? Because he took out Odegaard on the edge of the area, and it was a 5-on-1.
I saw that.
So I think a draw was a fair result, but it was a good game. I think both teams are still going to be at the top of the table throughout the second half of the season. I think Arsenal, in terms of just things that we need to do, is like if we can, I don't know what if it doesn't have to be a striker, but I definitely think we need another attacker. If we can find someone that can kind of come off the bench for Saka sometimes and get a few goals, we need more goals. I just don't see us hurting teams enough, specifically the bigger teams. I think the rest of the league, I think, will pick up points. But against these bigger games where we need options, Trossard is the only real threat that we can bring off the bench. And Nketiah does a job, but he's not gonna. If something happens to Jesus, he's not gonna be able to lead the line. I think we need to do something in attack. And I also still think we're short in midfield because if we get another injury in midfield, I don't know who comes in. It's Jorginho, Smith Rowe, El Neni. I mean, so the squad, we just got to get to January and then hopefully they can do something in terms of just building out the squad. But I think Liverpool are going to be pretty close as well. But I think Liverpool's issues are in that midfield as well. They just don't have the holding or the physicality to deal with the top sides. I think Rodri would run riot. I think Rice pretty much ran riot for a period of time yesterday. I think Liverpool need something else. I think Endo had a good game, but I think they need someone else in there to kind of really add some solidity to that midfield.
I will say this: like, there's been a lot of discussion about what Liverpool need, man, and I actually don't know what we need right now. And that's not. I know we need something, but I just don't know what it is. So the big discussion has been the number 6. That's been the big thing. I thought Endo played well.
No, he played well, but I just don't think he could. Again, imagine if Arsenal had Partey yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because we're talking about Arsenal. Arsenal didn't have Partey, didn't have Tomiyasu, didn't have, like, there's physicality in there and quality on the ball. And I think Endo had a good game once Liverpool realized, you know what, we can't play through, right? So we got to go over. And it was Trent. Like, Trent was the one that we couldn't get a handle on because he was coming into the midfield from deeper. All the other midfielders, so Bosley, Jones, they're neat and they're tight, but they're not dealing with the physicality of a Rice, a Partey, a Rodri.
Why? And the reason why, and this is why I give Arteta so much credit, because what Arteta did was, even though you're playing 4-3-3, he actually moved it so that you're almost playing more like a 4-4-2. in the middle, and that's why you're able to. And so Klopp had to actually counter that. And so I feel like at the very beginning, that's how we started to get some breathing room, especially after you scored so early. But Klopp also kind of countered to that. So when we got that goal back by Salah, Arsenal had to open up a little bit, and then I think we're playing a little bit more through the middle as well. So, we have a lot of injuries ourselves, like McAllister, who's been our number one, number 6, he's out. Simicast got injured, and we obviously know that Simicast is playing on behalf of Andrew Robertson. But there's also a few things got uncovered for me during that game as well. I thought Joe Gomez had a blinder. I thought Joe Gomez had a very solid game. And one thing I've been really pushing for Liverpool to explore, and this will ultimately determine what position we need. I would like to see Liverpool play with 3 in the back, because right now we effectively just play with 2 in the back, right? And sometimes Van Dijk's on the island by himself. I want to see 3 in the back so we can permanently move Trent into a double number 6 type role where he has a little bit more freedom to go forward, and see what that looks like. And that to me will kind of determine if we need to get more of another number 6 or if we need to get someone out at the back. But I do agree with you. I think Arsenal need a striker. I actually really love the way how Arsenal are playing in that middle. I thought, man, you guys are moving us around. You had very good control of the ball. And if you just had someone else, maybe like Ivan Toney, I don't know if he's going to be the guy, but someone who can be clinical up front. I don't know who the person is. Osimhen, if you guys just stay away from Osimhen, right? If you guys got him, I think the league is going to be in a lot of trouble, right? Because
I think he's the one. I think you get in January. I think what Arsenal need to do is to be very smart again, like they did with Trossard, and even that was a little bit by default because they swung at Mudryk. But then obviously Trossard was kind of the fail-safe. I think this is a similar situation. They're not going to be able to go for Osimhen in January just because of FFP and everything else. But he's now got a release clause in his contract at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what you do is you go out. For example, I'd go to Crystal Palace and I'd swing at Olise for 35 mil. He's got a release clause in his contract. Another young player can play off the right side, can play in midfield, can play number 10. You bring someone like him in for 30 mil, and then you also look and see if you can maybe sell. Because if Tony goes to Chelsea, for example, because they're crazy enough to pay Brentford 89 million for Tony, then maybe you can offload Nketiah to Brentford because they've been trying to go after him, and then I'd probably go for someone like Jimenez, who's playing for Feyenoord in Holland right now. Is again more of a Higuain type striker. But for a lot less than an Ivan Toney, and it still gives you options in the summer, because in the summer, I think Arsenal will have the option of selling a few players again to kind of make a big swing at an Osimhen, because again they could sell a Smith Rowe, they could sell a Nelson. They've got other players that they could move on, I think, to make a swing for someone like an Osimhen. So I think they got to play a little bit smart. And not go for Tony. I don't think Tony's the right, not at that price. If it was 30, 40 mil, I'd be like, all right, but not 80, 90, 100 million for Ivan. No.
That's what they want for him?
That's the crate, because again, it's when he's not there and he's not playing and you see the money that's kind of going around, Arsenal need a striker. Again, and Brentford are even talking about letting him go on loan, right? Because they're going to get their 100 mil. And again, Arsenal will be crazy to do that deal. I think he's going to end up at Chelsea just because Chelsea are stupid enough and crazy enough to pay the money. And then I think Arsenal benefit off that because Brentford want Nketiah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is he your top scorer right now?
I think he is, yeah.
Yeah, I think Nketiah's the top scorer. That's mad.
Okay. But again, it's 5 or 6 guys with 4 or 5 goals. It's the typical Arsenal thing, right? So it's 4 or 5. It's the same as last year, to be honest. But I just think we're too reliant on 1 or 2 people, and we don't have that killer in these big games. If you look at these big games, we should have beaten Aston Villa. We should have gotten a result at Newcastle. Even yesterday, if we had a more clinical striker in that first 15 minutes, Liverpool could have been in a lot of trouble with the chances we created. But we just don't. We don't have that killer up front. And again, it doesn't have to be prototypical Osimhen level. I think we need someone else that can come in and nick a few goals to the end of the season. And at the end of the season, if Osherman's on the market and we can somehow generate the money for it, then I think you definitely jump in that one, because I think there's a couple of strikers. There's more than one striker on the market. Everybody's talking that Osherman's the only one. But I think that Jimenez at final is good. I think Boniface at Bayer Leverkusen is really good. Sesko is a good young player coming up as well. There's lots of good strikers. So maybe what happens is Osimhen creates a crazy spin in the market where everybody tries to get him, and then you pick up one of the other guys on a little bit of a cheaper fee. But yeah, I think that's what Arsenal has to be smart.
Not that I want you guys to go off and win the league or anything like that, but looking from a football purist perspective, right? I just don't want you doing, I wouldn't want you doing what my team are famous for. Like our owners are cheap as hell. And, there's been opportunities where, if we just pull that trigger just a little bit sooner while we're in the race, we may have the opportunity to overcome City. Like imagine if we got like Luis Diaz, like just the season before, right? When we're supposed to get him. Or same thing with some of these other players. Like we may not have the City dominance that we have. And so that's my only, football neutral perspective. Hey, you have the opportunity, you're number one at Christmas, seal the deal while you're hot.
I think the Declan Rice thing tells you everything you need to know about this Arsenal ownership and situation right now. Like that, City came in, tried to muddy the water, and they were like, nope. There's your $100 million.
That's a real $100 million player, man, for real. Declan quality.
Declan has been good. Right?
Oh yeah.
I don't sound like I hate it. He's an exceptional, right? But come on, 100 million. Nobody's 100 million.
He's worth it. In today's market, he's worth it.
No. If you talk about you talk about players that 100 million, you want them to decide games for you. I'll tell you why Declan Rice is worth the money for Arsenal specifically. That game yesterday, in that second half, where Liverpool came out and punched us in the mouth, that game last year, we crumbled.
Yeah.
We crumbled. And it's Declan Rice, Saliba, Gabriel, them three in particular, that they held us into that game for that 10, 15 minutes. That's why he's worth the money. You're talking... and again, I'm not saying he's the same player, but you're talking Roy Keane type personality in your midfield. Like, again, before the game, everybody's going and we go into that silly huddle that Arsenal do. The person that's talking is not Odegaard, it's Rice. And people aren't seeing, like, he's buoying people in that team right now. Like, he's the guy.
He's the captain.
Like, he's the captain about the armband.
Correct. So, okay,
I literally saw him like.
Let me be clear.
I was peppering him in the beginning of the second half, and he was like, "Calm down." And that's what sorry, my bad.
Let me be clear about Declan. Declan Rice is a very good player, right? His strengths, like he's a one-man stopper of counterattacks, like off the ball, he's pressing, winning the ball, he covers large areas. I get it, and he can drive with the ball, like can progress when there's space. When you pay 100 million, in my opinion, right, for a midfielder, right, you're paying 100 million for somebody who can do much more on the ball, right?
No,
you got passing.
But I think the game's changed. I think there's two sides to the game, right? There's the stopping people from scoring, and there's scoring.
Correct.
Now look at our team, and you think about what Arsenal specifically needed. If you talk about going forward, Odegaard, for how much we paid for him, is that creative hub of the team. Like, again, we can talk about whether he's playing at the same level this year or not, but Odegaard is that number 10 creative spark in midfield. But what we didn't have was, for this type of game, that anchor in the mid. He's playing DM by himself. Like, people don't understand this. Like, he's the only defensive midfielder in our midfield, and we're going away to Newcastle, away to Liverpool, away to... And people are looking at our midfield and, oh, you guys are dominating this game. He's playing with Havertz and Odegaard.
I'll put it this way, right? And part of going back to your point about the midfield, part of that is on Arteta.
Yeah,
the way you guys up.
The structure.
But I will say this, like, in terms of money perspective, the market will always dictate to you how much someone costs.
Yeah.
I mean, the market, the availability of quality at that standard, at that level. Like, there's not that much out there, which then dictates that type of price. Like, look at Caicedo. Caicedo went for 115. Declan Rice every day over Caicedo, right? Who else? What other? Lavia play, this year. Endo. What did we pay for Endo? We underpaid Endo, in my opinion. Not to say that he's worth like 70 million, but he's definitely worth a lot more than 16, right? So, but to have that guy that you can put in the position, center and mount everything off of, there aren't that many people that can do that. And so, with that being said, I think
he has been exceptional. But okay, for example, in my opinion, 100 million Bellingham, that's a 100 million player. That's the player that wins you like titles, Champions League. Like he does everything. He tracks back, he can pass, he can score. Like that's just my opinion. But Declan Rice has been exceptional. Let me be clear. I'm not arguing. He has been exceptional.
But what I'm trying to say to you is, for the money,
yeah,
it's relative to what the team needs. So for example, Liverpool won the title when they went out and they paid how much for Alisson and Van Dijk? That's what they needed. So relative to what the teams needed, the 100 million for Arsenal is a sound investment because that's what the team is missing.
Correct. I agree with that, but this is the difference. Let me say my final thought about the difference. Declan Rice is not playing anywhere to the level of Van Dijk and Alisson as when Liverpool were on the prime. Van Dijk for like 2 years was flawless. Was elite.
Different positions, though.
No. But I'm just performance-wise, right? Performance.
No, but performance-wise, Declan Rice.
He is, but he's not playing at an elite level.
No. Declan Rice every week is at 8. No. Every week since he's been at Arsenal, Declan Rice is a 7 or an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Like he's been that good. And you know me, I don't give out accolades to players. When we paid the money, I was like, whew, this could go really wrong because you pay that type of money for a player, to your point, you have to justify that fee. And if you're not winning games of football for people aren't going to look at it and go, oh, you spent 100 million, he doesn't score goals, he doesn't have assists. But he's anchoring this team. Like if Declan Rice isn't in that midfield, Arsenal fall apart right now. I'm telling you straight.
I know.
Do you know I walked out the game? I was actually watching with some Arsenal fans. We went to the Liverpool bar here in San Francisco, and there's some Arsenal fans with us, and we were just talking. 2 things I noticed from the game, like winners, complete winners. France, Saliba, Konate, nasty. That is pure nastiness. Like those 2. Oh my God! And I don't even think they're the number 1 and 2 starting center backs for France. That's ridiculous.
They are now. I think they are now.
Not 1 and 2.
They should be. They still have what's his name?
Upamecano.
Upamecano, who I don't think is as good.
He's not at the level of them 2. I don't think either.
No,
he gets in.
France is blessed. But then the other thing that I came out of the game was like, you know what? England need to get rid of Southgate, man, because there's too much talent in this generation. And I'm not the one to say like, oh, it's England, they're supposed to be good. No, I grew up with England being like crap. But like the amount of talent that's out there right now, and Declan Rice being one of them, I was very impressed. I'm just being honest. Like I love the way how he kind of anchored that midfield down. And kudos to him, kudos to what Arteta is doing and how he's manipulating and moving the players and setting people up. I just have to give them some props for that, so.
Okay. Let me take some comments. I think Salah has to be one of the top 3 players of all time. After Henry, Salah, that guy was a massive steal for Klopp instead of Brad. I agree. Someone says Harry Kane, 100 million.
To finish second in the Bundesliga?
No, Bayern will not finish second.
No, I don't. Harry Kane, too. He's doing this thing.
If they finish second, that because how much you say Olise was? 30. He has a release clause. Did you say he has
115?
Olise. No.
No, Olise 35 mil release.
35 million. Okay, yes. I need to text. Let me text our gym now. We need that. We need it now.
You can't do it. I told you. The gym got no money until summer.
I'm joking. I don't think we should be making any transfers. Okay. Let's talk about the most impressive team so far. So I think I saw this on ESPN. They post about this. I think it was ESPN about Girona, Villa, or Bayer Leverkusen. I'll let Steven. Who do you think has been the most impressive? Of course, different leagues, different contexts, but I thought it was a good discussion when I saw it.
Yeah, no. I think Girona are like really, I've been really impressive. Obviously, with where they've come from. I think Bayer Leverkusen, I think Javi's doing a really good job there too. But I think it has to be Villa, just given the standard of the Premier League and what they're doing against the top teams, right? Because again, they're punching their weight. I said it when they started to sign a few players earlier last season. Like when they got Kamara, I thought that was a good signing.
Very good signing.
Powell, I thought was an exceptional signing. So they've been building for a little while, but then the manager, obviously Gerrard, was a bad appointment. But then getting Unai in, I just think he's
That's
doing a
your
really
man.
good
That's
job.
your man. Voila.
No. I just think people go to jobs sometimes at the wrong time, and I just think his personality wasn't the right personality for Arsenal because Arsenal had a lot of other things that needed to be fixed.
Yeah.
Right, like you had to engage the crowd, you had to do a lot of work behind the scenes, and I don't think Unai is that manager. I think what he has to do at Villa is just manage a group of 15, 20 players, and that's what he's good at. So I think it was just, I think Villa would be the most impressive for me just because of the weight that they're having to punch at. I know Chelsea have been terrible. I know United have been terrible, and that's probably opened up an opportunity in terms of the top 4 and 6. But I had them actually as an outside bet for Champions League at the start of the season, and I think that's probably the most impressive for me.
Okay. Voila, what are your thoughts?
All three of them are impressive. All three of them are impressive. But right now, Bayer Leverkusen are number one in the Bundesliga. Girona just slipped. Aston Villa could have been number one if they didn't draw that last game, which is crazy. So this is not a knock at any of the teams, but I have to kind of give it more towards Bayer Leverkusen. They've got more points.
They're unbeaten.
Anyone beating Bayern in Germany, man, I gotta give them some love, man, because that's a monopoly if there was one, you know. And so,
But that's kind of what I'm saying is that I think the reason I think Bayern are doing amazing.
Yeah.
But the thing I'm saying is that it's the standard of the league. It's like it's them and Bayern. Because even Dortmund, who would normally be the other team in that division, has been hit so hard by just the transfers and stuff that happened to them over the last couple of seasons. They're not at the level. So realistically, I think the quality of the football they're playing is out of this world. Like they're probably one of the top 5 teams in Europe right now, just in terms of style of play and how they get on about it. But the level of the league, I could see how they could make that jump quicker. Whereas a Villa beating City, beating Arsenal, beating Spurs, like they're basically punching at the weight in the Premier League with the best sides, which is kind of why I kind of give them a little bit of credit. And I actually think they could want to win a European trophy this season because they're in that Conference League as well. So
That's true.
I think Villa for me just because of the strength of the league. But I think what Javi's doing with them at Bayer is insane. Because they haven't lost in any competition this season.
All season. That's crazy.
And with your argument that you just made, I'm using the exact same argument, but just to argue the other way around. Like, yeah, the Premier League is a stronger league. There's no one. Well, Man City theoretically is the most dominant force, but there's a bunch of teams that are in the race every single year, right? Germany, there's no one else. It's Bayern Munich's league. You doing good? I'm taking your talent. They're deboing everybody, and so it's just the fact that they're ahead of Bayern Munich in that league in Germany out of nowhere. It's like, you know what? I just got to give some special praise. But all three are amazing. You know, I think Girona had to kind of pump their brakes once they found out that City and Girona can't be in the Champions League at the same time. That's why I think it's a little you know, I won't blame it. Like, hey, you're doing too good too quickly. Slow down.
We'll find out. I'm sure like some things will come out in the future that the whole between Girona and their transfers and City Group. I know it's going to come out at some point in the future. I think it's for me. I think I'll go Bayer Leverkusen. I think it's insane. Although I agree with everybody's points, everybody are doing amazing. I think it's insane what Bayer Leverkusen is doing. What Xabi Alonso, it's insane. Being unbeaten and the type of players that they have, you know, with the what's his name, Frimpong and Grimaldo. Every time I watch that game, my mind is always blown. You can tell that guy is the future like Real Madrid manager. You can tell that you know, like a year or two now, Real Madrid are going to snap Xabi Alonso up. I mean, will it work? We don't know, but yeah, I think when I watch them, they look amazing. They look really, really good.
Well, he said there's only 3 teams he wants to go to, right? So, you know,
Oh, is
you
that
hear
what he
that?
said? Did he
In,
say
in
that?
contract, yeah, there's 3 teams that Xabi wants to go, would be open to going to.
What was the other two? I know. Just tell me. I know that's what I'm
Real
smiling.
Madrid, Bayern Munich, and, you know, maybe a replacement for Klopp when Klopp decides to leave. So those are the 3 places he said he wants to go.
So he literally has it in his contract that if Bayern Munich arrival comes, he's going to go there.
He has it in his contract that
That's crazy.
he's allowed to leave to go to 3 clubs.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. This is why I don't rate that. I don't rate that league. Like, how can it be in his contract that Bayern Munich, a rival, he can just leave to a rival, just walk to a rival?
It's not a rival. That's exactly the point.
I guess. They own the league. They literally just own the league.
That's why Bayern weren't involved in any Super League talk.
No, they can't be.
Oh, because of the ownership rule. There you go.
None of the German teams are going to do anything to do with the Super League.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
I respect it. I mean, I know it's an idealistic world, but I respect it. Some people think it's kind of socialist ideas, but I respect it. That's what I like. But I know we live in a different world.
These are community organizations, man. Like,
exactly.
The cultures goes deeper than just, you know, how much money my owner is making. You know, like, we'll leave that to basketball and the NFL, but now football is about community, man. I see my man wearing the Arsenal jersey. That's like his tribe, right? When I wear my Liverpool jersey, that's my tribe. Shout out to Linger, Ola, Dwayne, and everyone. And when you wear your Man United, you know, crest, you're representing your Manchester United tribe, man. It's deeper than money. So,
okay, quick comment just came say, why can't Girona and City be in the Champions League? Salzburg and Leipzig do it, and I recall Chelsea and Zenit were in during Roman days.
It's because of the way how they operated. They operated under the same structure versus separate structures. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's exactly. I was going to swear. That's exactly what it is. This is probably going to be a quick show. Not many people are commenting. Of course, I expect that Boxing Day, Christmas Eve. Favorite 2023 football moments. Bola, what's your favorite 2023 football moment?
Probably Darwin versus Newcastle.
Okay.
You know,
it's for the calendar year, by the way. The whole calendar year. So not just
last season wasn't too great. So, you know,
we remember.
Probably for football moment, probably Darwin versus Newcastle.
Okay.
That must be big. Shout out to Raji.
I'm surprised you didn't say, like, you know, I was waiting for the 7-Up, you know. That's
we're used to that, man. That's you know,
that was my favorite moment.
6-0, 5-0. If we're gonna include last season, you know.
Wasn't even an Arsenal moment. The 7 was my moment. Straight
up. I know you're still, you know, remember the 8-2 moments. I know Arsenal fans can never let it go.
The 7 was my moment. Yes, no doubt. Because I didn't hear anything for weeks after that.
8-2, though. 8-2. I mean, that's between us. 8-2 is between us. That's a different club.
How many times have you lot been beaten by more than 5 in the last 24 months?
Oh, we've got 2 on you. We got 2.
That's what I'm saying. They've been battered by, I mean, like Brighton and Brentford and like you. How many teams have scored 5 against United in the last 24 months?
No, it's just Liverpool.
No, we go through the list.
It's just it's just Liverpool and City.
Did have 6, right?
Didn't Brighton and Brentford beat you lot badly as well, like 5?
No, I didn't get to 5. We have standards. We have standards. We didn't get to 5. It was only City and Liverpool that hit us for 6 or 7. No, you didn't get to 5. Relax.
The 7, that was my moment.
That's your favorite moment. Okay. That's good.
You know, Steven convinced me. Yeah, let's go back to 7.
No. You're not changing it.
The whole year.
Mine is 2 though. I think mine is Garnacho. The bicycle kick. That was good. And I think the beating City, you know, with that offside goal. I loved it. It was offside, yes. But we beat you in the derby at Old Trafford. Yeah, the beating City was because I didn't give us a chance in that game. I think it was a chance. So that's my favorite moment for 2023. The favorite 2020 moment, the greatest coach winning the treble. Okay, so this is probably Ben Video, the Barcelona fan. This is the only person I know that loves Dyer, probably Dyer, the Bayern fan. That's the person that loves Pep more than his own club. Yeah, this guy is a Pep fan.
Out there.
Yeah.
That's what we're waiting for. You know, like Everton. Like I said, Everton was just a set precedence. Okay, the precedent has now been set. 10 points per violation. Minimum.
Yeah. I'm not dining out on that one.
Me neither. I'm just praying.
Everton's lawyers are not City's lawyers. Let's just say that.
No, I think City are going to get charged though. I've predicted it since it came out. I think City is going to get relegated. That's my prediction.
I don't think they'll relegate him. I think there's going to be a hefty charge because the thing is, again, even though they talk about 150, it's the same offense multiple times somehow. So it's actually like 5 charges or 3 charges. And again, I hear it with the Everton thing, but I can't see a situation where the Premier League throws them out. So I think what they'll do is they'll get a hefty fine and a points deduction, but it will come at the end of the season somehow.
Okay. So against the following season, that's what you think?
100%. I don't want them to do it this season. Like if I'm Liverpool or Arsenal and I win the league, or Villa or whoever wins the league this year, I don't want to win the league because City got docked 15 points and got relegated mid-season.
Actually, because of that, I want that. Let them do it now so that we can call it just like how we don't count Liverpool's Premier League title. COVID, that was COVID. Nobody cared about that.
Not having it. End of the season, do as you wish, but let them play out the season and then we go from there.
Okay.
I'm cool with reclaiming some of the trophies that were stolen.
Hey, same here, man. We came second a couple of times, just
I think you get 2, we get 2, right?
Yeah. I want that. Let's bring it. I'll take it. Shamelessly, I'll take it. I'll get it.
We get one, and I still don't care.
I'm glad to get 22 Premier League titles. I'll
be right there with you at 22 too.
No. If you get 2, I will get 2. No, you be below us. You be 21.
Oh, you're right. Don't worry, it's coming.
I'll take it
shameless.
Hey, that's where we are now. So Jim's army. That's where we are. So Jim's shameless army. That's where I am.
That's right.
Until we get back. Okay, let's get to. So, normally we do kudos and donkey of the week, right? But this time I'm going to do kudos and donkey of the year, 2023. Okay. I feel like most of us will say the same thing, but we'll see. Let me see who we're gonna say. Let me start with you, Steven. Who gets your kudos for the whole calendar year 2023 and your donkey?
I'm trying to maybe go with not the familiar. Like I could easily say, obviously Pep or someone like that, but I'm actually gonna go with O'Neill at Wolves because I think he did a really good job at Bournemouth, and then the way they got rid of him was really harsh.
It was.
And then he got another opportunity at Wolves, and again they gutted the team, and he's still managing to get results and getting them to play well. So I'll probably, again, I could give it to Villa, I could give it to Arteta, I could give it to Pep. There's a lot of good things that have happened with those teams and those people. But I think I want to give my kudos to him because I think to come back from that, most people would have just kind of like, okay, it's not fair, it's blah blah blah. But he got another job, and he's doing a really good job there too. In a similarly difficult situation, because again, Wolves gutted their side, and he's doing a good job. So I think I'll give him the kudos.
That's a good shout, Gary. Now I didn't even think of that. It's a great shout. Bola, what do you think?
Kudos. Let me give it to Eddie Howe. Newcastle were almost relegated like the year before last, and got them into Champions League, and they got into the group of death, and Newcastle beat PSG. That's bad.
4-1. Yeah.
I
could have qualified even for that bad dodgy decision.
Yeah,
very dodgy penalty.
And this is before they've even we know the money's coming in, right?
Yeah.
But they haven't even really started with the whole money thing yet. So this is all organic, change of management, change of system, making good decisions. And so I gotta give them some props.
Yeah, I think I'll go with Villa. Unai Emery, Villa. Yeah, I think a stat came out. I think only Arsenal and City have more points than them this calendar year, and Villa. I think I saw that somewhere. And that's incredible. You know, their recruitment has been on point. Leon Bailey, Diaby, Kamara, the way he has worked with the team, and more importantly, the way he has kind of evolved their style a little bit, even from last season. You know, Villa last season, when they played the big teams, deep, low block, counter, deep, low block. But now they play this high line, ridiculous high line that they play now, and they press you midfield, like changing a style of play that drastic in one summer. Man, I know how incredible hard that is. So yeah. So I think Villa. Donkey of the year. Steven, you go first.
Ooh, Donkey.
Oh, Steven got cut out.
Oh well.
Okay, are you back? You're back. You're back. Your volume is gone now. Can't hear you. No. Okay, Bala, let's you go. Who's your donkey of the year?
Donkey. So many options.
Calendar 2023, calendar year.
Your guy Maguire might be up there.
Who's that?
Your guy Maguire might be up there.
I don't know. I don't know if that's fair though. I feel like he has turned it around a little bit. I think so.
Maybe. I didn't say he's the donkey, but I said he's up there. You know, okay. Everton, getting deducted points on their day off. They're up there. I don't know, like maybe like Florentino Perez.
Are you back, Steven? Can we hear your volume?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. Okay, go ahead, Bala. Finish. Who are you going with?
Maybe Florentino Perez, man. I don't like the whole like Super League stuff, man. And I'm glad that all these clubs are coming back, making statements saying that they're not going to get involved. I think the government is putting in like some kind of like football sports council. It's going to make us a little bit more like Germany, so that Premier League teams can't leave. And so, maybe it's recency bias and the whole court decision that's making me feel this way. But yeah, I think, I don't like him. Like, and the owner, the president of Barcelona, those two, man, go figure out a way how to get more money out of their own league instead of trying to pull these legacy clubs into a Super League. So big up to Napoli. That's big. Yeah. That's big.
Kudos. Man United, Chelsea, joint donkeys. That's fair.
Yeah. That was my one. Like Todd Bowley, I think, and Chelsea. I think that's a clear. Like, I don't know how you can spend as much as that and not.
That's true.
3 managers. Like, it's crazy.
And just to double down what you just said, no team has lost more Premier League games in the calendar year in 2023 than Chelsea. Chelsea have not lost 19 games in the calendar year. That's wild.
They'll be relegated. They'll be in the relegation position if you look at it just from here.
Correct. They are the relegation zone. No team has that's crazy.
Do you know why I don't want to go for Chelsea right now, though? One thing I know about this group, man, you gotta, be careful not to pin yourself, man. Like this group is vicious, and you know what? Technically, Bowley has like 8 years to get these contracts to look right. So I don't want, all of a sudden.
Yeah, we're not saying it's going to go back for this year.
I just don't want to, I know how these things are and how they get cooked and stuff. So I'm staying away from Chelsea for a couple of years, and then after a couple of years, I'll be like, okay, yeah, that's just stupid.
Can't give you a couple of years after $1 billion. I can't. on principle, but if we'd have spent that money,
man. No, we spent 19 mil because we
tried. Chelsea have been going under the radar, in my opinion, when it comes to cooking. The way Man United has spent 400 million and be getting cooked over 2 years, please. Chelsea
the difference is United just have to write players off. Mm-hmm. To Bowler's point, at least the players that Chelsea are buying are young players that you don't know if the manager's going to be able to turn them into something. United are writing players off. Like Casemiro, I said it at the time, bad signing. Makes no sense. It's a short-term signing. is in the scrap heap already. Anthony, 80 million. Anyone that watches him in Holland tells you 30, 40 mil max, double the value.
Yeah.
Like, that's the difference. I think Chelsea, you don't know with half of these players if they get coached up what they could be, because they bought so many young players, right? I think they just don't have the experience. So it's almost like learning on the job for a lot of them, regardless of the transfer fees.
Yeah.
So I think they could be really good in a couple of years, but you got to give them time and a manager time. And I don't think you can't be this bad for this long and get away with it. So it's like Pochettino keeps this going. I don't know if he survives the year.
Yeah, he might not. He might not survive the season. But in a little bit of pushback, though, United have some young players too. It wasn't all old that we got. It wasn't all old. Martinez
No,
is young.
but even
Højlund is
that.
young.
No, but Højlund, for the amount you paid,
You overpaid.
Højlund,
Yeah.
he scored 8 to 10 goals in Serie A. You paid
I agree.
60 million pounds.
We
Like,
overpaid.
Højlund is Bentner. Højlund is basically Nicholas Bentner as a kid at Arsenal.
I don't
Seriously.
know.
No, he's a young Nicholas Bentner when he was at Arsenal, when he first came into the team. That is Højlund. You're paying for potential.
That's clip worthy. That kind of statement is clip worthy.
I heard
that's clip worthy.
I'm going back to Anthony. I heard Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his team valued him at $30 to $40 million, and they didn't want it. They didn't want him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
back is
no. We made mistakes. I'm not arguing that. Everybody, United fans that know me very well, I've been a big critic of United recruitment, like for years, right? That's not what I'm arguing. I'm saying I think there's still some young players that we have that when Ten Hag inevitably goes, gets fired, and the new thing comes. I think there are players like Martinez, Højlund, Malacia. I think there are young players that can be coached up. So it's not all. Casemiro is the big, and Anthony is the big, big miss. Oh, but Varane was a long time ago. That was not a signing. Varane was way back. No, and we bought him for no.
Varane's playing for you, y'all.
I'll defend Varane a little bit though. I'll defend the Varane signing just a little bit. We got him for 30 million, right? And we got him when he was 28. I defend it. Varane was supposed to be a stopgap. Now the problem, I agree, the salary, the wages is crazy. That's
crazy. The problem. All of those players, that's the issue. It's like you're building for what?
Correct. I agree. I have this conversation with United fans every time when I'm like, yeah, we should start building scores like we're in win now mode. We are not in win now mode. We should start building long term. So that's what I hope Sir Jim, and his people realize and start that approach instead of build now. So, but yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, Chelsea for sure is my donkey of the year. United is a close second just there, but Chelsea. At least United won a trophy this season. We kind of look good earlier in the year between January and March. We look good, so that because of that they get a pass.
Because what are the wages?
They get a pass because Chelsea is so bad.
Yeah, true, and that also. Yeah, and that also.
Like, what are the wages on these Chelsea players? Aren't they all reasonable?
Some of them.
Some of them aren't that bad, right?
No, the contracts aren't crazy considering the ages, right? So it's 100K and.
Yeah, Enzo has crazy though. I think Enzo is the one that's crazy. Enzo has on 300K. Enzo has a crazy salary.
I don't think he's that much.
Enzo Fernandez, I think Enzo Fernandez is high. Well, either way, they overpaid for Enzo and Caicedo, of course. Come on, that was crazy.
Caicedo was crazy. And I can say that as though battling with my team, but
you wanted him though. You wanted him though.
Why we absolutely wanted him.
Yeah,
and I think
you're going to pay the money.
Better in the Liverpool system than in the Chelsea system right now.
Yeah, no, but I think that Liverpool made a call again, going and getting Endo and then getting Gravenberch and Szoboszlai for the fees and McAllister. That's a better use of the money in the grand scheme. That's what I'm saying. Like you can see the teams that are using common sense, right? Is that we can get 4 players in there for basically what Chelsea are paying for 3. 2 players basically. We're getting 4 for the price of the 2.
But if I use I understand I agree with that. But if I use that concept now, if we flip it and say, but you guys paid hundreds for Rice, just playing devil's advocate.
No. We paid 100 for Rice to play with Odegaard, Partey, players we already have.
Okay, fair.
That's the difference. That we're to your point. We're in win now mode. We're the team that finished second last year.
Correct. Okay.
So we're in win mode now, adding Rice. basically you're trying to rebuild a midfield, and you're basically paying 100 million for two players that are unproven.
Yeah, fair enough. I agree with that. That's
going back to the salary. Enzo Fernandez is 180 per week. The ones that are really bloated at Chelsea are Raheem Sterling 325 per week, Reece James second at 250 per week, Ben Chilwell 200 per week, Fofana 200 per week, and Nkunku 195, Enzo 180, Cucurella 175, Caicedo 150, and then
But some of those are not like Cucurella for that. That's mad.
Yeah,
that's kind of things we do in United. Those are the kind of crackhead salaries that we give out. That needs to stop immediately. It needs to stop. So I think we've come to the end of the show, the last show for the year. We didn't get much interaction. Understandably, people are chilling. It's Christmas. Thank you guys for giving me your time on Christmas Eve. I know it's a hard thing to do when people are with their families.
Who's winning the league?
Who's winning the league? Oh, actually, yeah. Let's do that. Let's do some shouts. Let's do league and Champions League. Let's do that.
Ooh, I'm not watching Champions League this shit now.
We know you're watching. You're just not commenting about it. We know you're watching. Let's go, Bola. You see, you started that. Let's go. Who's giving the league Champions League?
Well, you know what they say about those who are there. Number one at Christmas, man. You're supposed to win the league. Well, I think the ultimate winner this weekend was Man City.
Do we know that though? Do we know that?
None of us capitalized on them being out in Saudi Arabia, but for the what's it called, Club World Cup, none of us capitalized on that. And so I think with games in hand, if they win out, they're
3 points.
3 points behind you, 2 points behind us. So I think it's still their league right now. But we're gonna try and make it interesting.
Okay, so, Champions League. Just do the two together. Champions League. Who is?
Oh shoot. I don't know.
You see the fixtures?
I'll focus on Europa right now. That's what I'm
Just give a prediction, Bola.
I don't know. It could be C, it could be Bayern, man. I'm not quite sure. Okay. I really don't know. I don't know. I think the English teams have a shout for sure.
Okay. You don't want to put your hat. Steven, what's your thoughts?
The league, I think we have a good chance this year. Cause again, no one's won it 4 times, and I think City have just got some fundamental issues with the shape of their team that they're trying to work through. I think they're going to be good in cups. So that's kind of why I would put them as one of the favorites for the Champions League, because I think when De Bruyne comes back, cup competition, I think they'll be really good in that. But I think the league, I think they're still figuring a lot out in their team, and I think they're going to keep dropping points. And I think the way Arsenal are set up, the way Liverpool are set up, I think they're gonna drop points. And I don't think it's going to be as easy as it was to chase us down last year. Because there's more teams in the league that can actually take points off them. There weren't games last year after they played their big head-to-heads that I was looking around going, they're going to drop points. Whereas I feel there's more points for them to drop to other teams in the league. And I think Arsenal aren't going to be as easy to chase down. So I think Arsenal could have a really good chance in the league, depending on what happens, the usual injuries and what they do in January. And then Champions League, I think it's Real, because I think Real Madrid, because remember, Real have got 20 odd players out. It's scary right now. So if they get them players back and they got money to go and do what they need to do, I think Real in the Champions League are going to be a problem. And Man City, I actually don't think Bayern. I think they got good players, but they're not the best team right now. I think Kane will do what Kane does, but I don't see Bayern troubling Man City or Real Madrid in top form in the Champions League.
Okay, good one. I'll say mine. I still think, even though I said I'll play, I think City will win it. I think once the boogeyman, I call it the boogeyman. Once the boogeyman comes back, everything will fall into place. But I don't think they're as. So let me say, I don't think they're as inevitable as they were last season.
Oh yeah.
I don't think. I just think Arsenal are running a little bit. Arsenal don't have enough goals in them. Let me put it that way. They're way better defensively this season. And I think Liverpool, just like Steven mentioned earlier in the show, that midfield when Salah goes out. I know it's just 3 games, right? When it's just 3 games. AFCON is just 3 games, I think, but
Salah's
still.
about to be out. Endo's about to be out.
Yeah, so it's
Not putting Endo on Salah's level, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I just that midfield, that defense. Konate is always injured here and there. I just see that it's not going to be enough. Now for Champions League, the funny thing, and this is not me trolling, I'm being honest. I actually think Arsenal is going to be Champions League this season because of the reason. No, I'm being serious. No, let me land. Let me tell you why. I'm not
down there. I'm just saying I'll be mad.
It's literally because of the flip reason why I said they have become, I think, probably the best defensive team in Europe and in knockout competitions, especially in recent years, right? Apart from City. But City are also a defensive team because of the way they just defend by keeping the ball. What Arsenal has, being defensive, is very, very good for knockout football. They don't concede goals. Arsenal can play 0. They do not concede goals. And they can score the odd goal here and there, meaning there's no one person when you are preparing for Arsenal over a 2-leg Champions League tie. There's no one person to say, oh, let me take out Saka. If you take Saka, like anybody of any of the forward line can score goals. And even Odegaard. They are not volume goal scorers, but they can all score goals. And that's very dangerous for knockout football. Now, for Premier League, on the flip side, that's where you need volume. You need volume goal scorers. So, and that's why I think it's going to hurt them along the way. So that's my shot. I think Arsenal will go to Champions League. It's going to be mad because we know all the Arsenal fans being like, yeah, finally, the other people have trolled for the last 20 years. But I'm just being honest. I think that's my shout. I might be wrong, but I think Arsenal will win Champions League. Not even care.
EJ, what are your thoughts?
She'll see this too.
Yeah, that will depend on the draw. 100%. Like the Champions League it's a cup again.
It's draw.
Cup competition. You get the draw doesn't go in your favor. You get someone crazy in the next round. That the Champions League is a lottery. That's kind of why
it is
for me. But I think consistency wise, if I look over the last 18 months, I think Arsenal are turning into a little bit. They can get results and they don't. Like you look who they drop points to. Newcastle away, Villa away. Like they're not dropping points to teams that touch wood they shouldn't necessarily, and I think that's what makes them a little bit. And again, in those big games, they're competitive in all of those big games. To your point, if they could get that little bit extra edge from somewhere, that firepower that you're talking about,
yeah,
that's the only thing that's missing for them to kind of. And again, it depends on what they do in Jan. If they get some additional firepower in January from somewhere, and it could be a signing that people don't expect because I don't think it's going to be a Tony or it could be random. It could be someone like that Marcos Leonardo coming from Brazil or something crazy like that no one expects. And it's not a crazy fee. That just gives them a few more goals, and that's what they need.
Who did you draw next week?
Porto.
Porto? Who did you draw? You drew Porto next round?
Yeah, we got Porto in the next round.
And then when can you play another team from your country? Is that the semis or the
quarters final?
Oh, it is quarters.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if Arsenal avoid City and Real Madrid, well, Real Madrid, we don't know how their defense is going to look like. That's a long way to stand. But if they avoid Real Madrid at full tilt, I think Arsenal can go all the way. Those are the two teams I can see.
The only two teams in the Champions League, like I said, is Real Madrid and it's Man City. And Real Madrid is more because of just who Real Madrid are. Yeah. They could have the worst 11 out in the Champions League and you play them and they still find a way to beat you some random way.
Correct.
And then Man City, because there is a mental thing. Like Arsenal, we beat them this year, yes, but it's always a hard struggle to get anything from us with us against City. Over 2 legs, I wouldn't back us to win over 2 legs.
Correct. Okay, I think we've come to the end of the show. Steven, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year if we don't chat before that. Bola.
Yep, same to you.
Take care.
Have a good one tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah. Take care.
We're out. Take care.